Hello everybody, I'm Albert Villa and I'm from a company called Mind Prosperity. We focus on mental wealth, and in this series we are talking about emotional intelligence in the workplace. Research tells us that if your emotional intelligence increases with 5 points, your life betters with 72%. We have collaborated with Safe Training to create an amazing course to help you apply the following principles in your professional life. These principles include self-awareness, self-control, empathy, integrity, internal locus of control, flow and authenticity. To register for the course, simply visit safetraining.co.za and navigate to the courses page. Here you will find the list of courses. Select emotional intelligence in the workplace and go through the registration process. You can use my code AVILLA15 to check out for 15% discount. From Mind Prosperity, thank you so much for watching. We believe we will see you soon. Goodbye. Hi everybody, my name is Albert Villa and I'm from a company called Mind Prosperity, and we're so excited to have you back again with one of our videos. So before I'm going to start, I'm going to ask you to like, to subscribe, to share this video if you believe it's going to help people, and please ring the bell so that you can get notifications. Also, I'm doing sessions on emotional intelligence in the workplace. The booklet I'm using will be on the screen and you can contact me for these sessions. I can either do it live or we can do it on platforms such as Zoom, so no matter where you are in the world. And I also believe you loved our video on emotional intelligence that we have on Safe Working platform, so you can go check that out, and we believe it's going to help your company a lot. Now, we speak a lot about emotional intelligence. We are mainly focused on mental wealth because we believe where your mind goes, your life will follow. So I'm going to do a two-part series. Today is part one on a topic that I would like to call another way of intelligence. And today the subtopic will be the smartness that causes a person to thrive in life and business. How can you be smart in such a way that you thrive in life and business? So have you ever heard this question where people ask you, are you clever? Are you smart? Are you intelligent? I believe we hear that a lot, right? Normally we think, did I get good grades at school? Am I smart mathematically? Do I have a good degree? And funny enough, research tells us that IQ was not the main determining factor of success, but EQ, emotional intelligence. So if I'm speaking about another way of intelligence, I'm speaking about not intellectual intelligence. I'm speaking about emotional intelligence. I don't know we actually grasp how emotional intelligence actually is. So today I'm going to speak about the importance of that, and in the next video I'm going to speak about the importance of that, the smartness that causes you to thrive in life and in work, which is emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is basically knowing how to understand your own emotions and how to interact with the self, how to understand other people's emotions, and how to interact with other people. So the one is what they call intrapersonal intelligence. Intrapersonal intelligence is understanding yourself, understanding your own emotions, knowing how to work with yourself, knowing how to work with your own emotions. And then you get interpersonal intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence, on the other hand, is understanding other people, understanding other people's emotions, and knowing how to work and deal with other people. And this is why this is such an important thing for success. Because if you don't know how to deal with you won't know how to deal with life. And mostly people focus on things externally, blame the external environment, and they don't look inwardly. So after you've looked inwardly, after you've dealt with yourself, after you've come to a place where you're secure in yourself, love yourself, how to deal with your own emotions, you can get to a place where you can learn to deal and understand other people's emotions. And this is very important, a very important determining factor of success in our lives. Like I said earlier, emotional intelligence is even a better predictor, much better predictor of success than intellectual intelligence. And I think society for years actually has focused on the importance of intellectual intelligence. I think it was actually very recently that people only started to focus on the importance of emotional intelligence. So the key to success with people is knowing how to handle yourself, knowing how to understand yourself. Do you know how to handle yourself around people? Do you know how to understand yourself around people? Do you sit down and do some inner work? And then on the other side, do you know how to handle other people? Because what I've seen is if we don't know how to handle ourselves, we don't know how to handle our own emotions, we normally take it out on other people. We don't know how to step back. We don't know how to self-regulate, and in a few weeks we can speak about self-regulation. We don't do introspection. What happens is we take our anger, we take our emotions out on other people. And I was recently in a session with one of my coaches and leaders on emotional intelligence, and he said to us that anger causes you to become stupid. And by that, I'm not saying intellectually dumb, but by that I am saying it causes you to act in a stupid way, and it affects you and it affects others. Like I said, the importance of the core of emotional intelligence is knowing how to deal with me and knowing how to deal with others. Craig Rochelle said, you have to become a leader people would want to follow. If you've never seen this course of Craig Rochelle, please go watch it. It's called Becoming a Leader That People Would Love to Follow. Emotional intelligence, again, is a key factor in leadership. Leadership is not just about how many books you read. Leadership is not about how much you know. And leadership is not just about taking charge. And yes, as a leader, you have to take charge. But a leader that people love to follow is the emotional, intelligent leader. You want to become a great leader, become emotionally intelligent. So what is great leadership? And John Maxwell and Chad Veach actually spoke about this. They said leadership is influence. You want to influence people really, really in a good way. Start to focus on emotional intelligence like never before, because this gives massive influence. Now, leadership is not about a title. You're chasing a title, you're not chasing leadership. Leadership is all about influence. If you want to influence people, become emotionally intelligent. Understand and learn interpersonal intelligence. Understand and learn intrapersonal intelligence. This will help you a lot in your influence in life. Because here's the thing about leadership. You can never influence other people if you don't learn how to influence yourself. And this is the problem with many types of leaders or many styles of leadership, is leadership starts with self. If you cannot lead you, you cannot lead other people. Leadership doesn't start with title. Leadership doesn't start with how many followers you have. Leadership starts with, can I influence me? Now, again, when it comes to leadership, many people are at that place where they are seeing how many followers can I get? How many people can I get to follow me? That's not a bad thing. Or what title can I get? I'm also not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, but the people with the best titles are not necessarily the best leaders. You know, you get people with great titles who are not good leaders. Become a leader people like to follow. Become an influencer people like to follow, and that takes emotional intelligence. When it comes to emotional intelligence, I think there's a few qualities that I want to give you today that's very important to focus on. Taking initiative. And I believe so many people don't take initiative because of fear. They have a fear of failure. I think they say one of the biggest fears in life today is the fear of failure. But also in a study they showed one thing that every single big businessman in this world has in common is failure. Failure is a part of life. Failure is something that's going to happen. And failure is not necessarily a negative thing. Don't be afraid to fail. But don't fail and not learn. You can fail and still go forward. You can fail and still grow. You can fail and still learn. So one of the things that causes people not to take initiative is a fear of failure. We shouldn't focus on failing. We shouldn't say, okay, I listened to that guy's YouTube video on emotional intelligence. He said it's okay to fail, so now I'm going to fail. I'm on purpose going to fail. I'm going to become a failure. No, what we are saying is you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that the initiative you take is going to work out. When it doesn't work out, when you fail, get up, dust yourself up, and take initiative again. I believe so many people today don't take initiative anymore because they have failed many times in their life. But emotional intelligence says, after I fail, I know how to deal with me. I know how to dust myself off. I know how to deal with my anger, with my emotions that's connected to failure. And I know how to get back to a place of optimism again. I know how to get to a place of believing in myself again. And I know how to get to a place to take initiative again. So one of the things that causes people not to take initiative is this thing called failure. Another thing that causes people not to take initiative is the thing of other people's opinions. What if I take initiative? What if I come up with an idea? What if I come up with a plan? People don't like it. They shoot me down. Or what if I take initiative and it doesn't work out? What are people going to say about me? What are people going to think about me? And I want to encourage you in this, and I believe a lot of bosses can agree with me on this. I would rather have somebody that takes initiative and makes mistakes sometimes than somebody that just sits there and is afraid to do nothing. And this takes emotional intelligence. This is literally a thing where you have to say, I know how to deal with me, and I know how to interact with people. I know how to be resilient. I know how to rise from mistakes, and I know how to get back up again. Another thing that's very important is empathy. When we look at empathy, normally we think empathy is this thing of like, if it's going bad with me, somebody's going to come feel sorry for me. And that's not the core of empathy. The core of empathy is, I feel what you feel. I really care about you. Empathy is literally saying, I put myself in your situation. So what's the difference between sympathy and empathy? Just to clear that up. Sympathy says, I feel for you. Empathy says, I feel with you. I believe taking initiative has more to do with your intrapersonal intelligence, how to deal with yourself. Although although interpersonal intelligence might also be involved, empathy, on the other hand, has a lot to do with interpersonal intelligence. You cannot have good interpersonal intelligence when it comes to empathy, meaning you cannot be empathetic towards other people, care for other people, if you don't first care to learn to care for yourself and to love yourself. So self-love, self-care is an very, very important factor when it comes to empathy. But empathy eventually flows out to other people, your interaction with other people, or how we say it, interpersonal intelligence. So empathy is not just a thing of, it's going bad with you, I'm going to feel bad with you. It's a big part of it. Like when somebody goes through a bad time, you are there to help them, you are there to feel with them. But I also believe empathy is when you feel what other people feel, you are happy for them when they are happy. You are glad when they are glad, and if they're not in a good place, you want to help them get there. Big part of emotional intelligence and a big part of success in businesses. I always say empathy creates unity. If you want unity in your business, if you want unity in your workplace, make sure there's a culture of empathy where people care for each other. Blair in 2005 said, effective empathy is concerned with the experience of emotion elicited by an emotional stimulus. So what he's basically saying is, I have empathy for another person. I feel what that person is feeling. The opposite of empathy will look something like, I'm happy when it goes bad with you, and I'm jealous when it goes well with you. That's the opposite of empathy, and we never want to get to that place. Another thing that's very important when it comes to emotional intelligence is this art, and I really think this is an art we need to master, the art of being adaptable. And why is the art of being adaptable so important? Because we will make decisions, we will have plans, we will have this thing in our imagination that I really believe in very strongly, but it doesn't always happen how we planned. Things, schedules, people, it doesn't always turn out how we planned it would be. This is why adaptability is so important. If you don't learn this quality, that means every single time something happens that's not on your schedule, if people do things that you didn't expect they were going to do, you are going to be in emotional turmoil. You are going to get angry, you're going to get frustrated because you don't know how to be adaptable. Change is part of life, and everything does not always happen as it is planned. This can cause a lot of stress and turmoil within the person that has not yet learned and grown in the area of adaptability. People who are adaptable, on the other hand, shows to be resourceful, shows to have good intra and interpersonal intelligence. They display leadership skills as well as determination. So to be adaptable to change, to know change is going to be there, to know everything is not always going to work out the way you have planned it to work out, is a very important thing. Then integrity. So there's a difference between having integrity and being perfect. Having integrity is not being perfect. So the goal here is not perfection, but the goal here is trustworthiness, because that's what integrity leads to. Meaning I can trust you through your imperfection. Integrity says, basically, if you say no, I know you're not going to do it. If you say yes, I know you are going to do it. If you say I'll try, I know you will at least try. People don't ask perfect people to do things for them. People don't ask clever people to do things for them. People ask people with integrity to do things for them. Integrity is also a big part of emotional intelligence. Why am I saying integrity is a big part of emotional intelligence? Again, you want people to trust you. You want other people to believe that you are going to do what you said you're going to do, but other people are never going to believe that you are going to say and do it if you don't believe it yourself. You can never expect other people to trust in you. You can never expect other people to believe in you if you don't trust and believe in yourself. So that's why I'm saying it starts with self-introspection, it starts with intrapersonal intelligence, and it flows over to interpersonal intelligence where you deal with other people. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to better myself, but I'm not trying to be perfect, but I'm always striving very high to be a person of integrity as far as I can. People must say, listen, I want to trust you. I want to trust your word, but people are never going to trust me if I don't trust me. And by trusting myself, also, I don't mean I'm going to be perfect. I don't mean I'm not going to make mistakes, but I do know as far as I can, I'm going to try to keep my word, and I want people to trust me. Very important part of emotional intelligence. And then faithfulness. Very important thing. Faithfulness is also not perfection. Faithfulness is doing something consistently. It's not just about doing the right thing once. Faithfulness is about continually, over and over, doing the right thing. And as you get to that place where you're over and over and in continually doing the right thing, then you are faithful. And people want faithful people in their lives. People want people not just who does the right thing, but have consistency. They do this thing over and over again, and that is what faithfulness is all about. Faithfulness is that place where you can trust. You can say, listen, I'm going to do the right thing over and over again. And I think it's important to ask yourself that question before you say yes to anything. And I think this is important with integrity and faithfulness. Before you say yes to to anything, ask yourself, can I commit to this, and can I commit to this faithfully to do it over and over again? Unless it's now a once-off thing, I'm not speaking about that. But if it's a long-term thing, ask yourself, can I be faithful in this area? Because you have to ask that question for yourself before you can make that commitment to other people. And I think these are really, really important qualities for anybody who wants to be in leadership and for anybody who wants to be in influence. Daniel Goleman, I want to end with this, said this: they have found what matters most for excellence in the workplace was not technical experience or book learning, but emotional intelligence. IQ comes after emotional intelligence when it comes to outstanding performance. You want outstanding performance in your life, family life, workplace, personal life, with yourself, with others. Learn emotional intelligence, learn these qualities. So I hope this helped you. Another way of being intelligent, part 1, speaking about emotional intelligence. Be ready for part 2 next week from the whole Mind Prosperity team. We love you. We'll see you soon again. Goodbye.